All right, we have started, and welcome back to this is actually chapter three of my The Escape, which I'm playing a solo tabletop traditional RPG. With we have our character sheet here. We're using the game Cairn, and my character name is Loomer. We have the monsters pulled up for reference. This is from the website. You can get this game for free, and this is the quick little reference sheet that we'll use. It's the full rules, I believe. I've been playing this game just for a couple weeks, so I'm still getting the hang of it. I'm sure I'll forget things. And as I always like to say on my channel, trial and error for this this channel. So, with that being said, uh, it's currently what I have. I did correct my count in gold when we left off. I picked up a bunch of gold from that treasure chest we dropped while the goblin and the halfling inmate fought or chased each other out the door. I was left there with all the gold. So I took what I could, and through some shenanigans, we ended up on the outside. So technically, this is the escape part of the or the ending of this one shot. But this, I'm trying to see if this will be the final, because there's one more thing I want to do out here. We still have to build to this little region of the story. So we still have to build this little area here, if you guys can see it. And then our character is right on the edge of the screen. He just entered. This is like a cliff side or like a big tall wall that we had to kind of crawl around here, fit through. And the band and the I'm sorry, not the halfling. The bandit is here about to duke it out with the goblin. So I'm sorry, that's not the halfling. Halfling is long gone at this point, off off to nether, off to the nether. So oh, and we also have, because of the change of scenery here, as usual. I had to use my little pop-up table, and I'm sure you guys can see my leg over here somewhere now, and my rickety chair if that doesn't pick it up. We have the digital dice up. In the last game, I like to challenge myself and change things up a bit with our mechanics. Um, in this one, we are blending the likelihood modifier chart, which is right next to the dice on the screen that you can see, with my 2d20 roll that we were using from before. So one of the dice represents yes, the other one represents no. With this one, left is yes, right is no. So yes and no. That's just how I like to orient it. Just for visually. So for example, let's say that we are on this cliffside. We could essentially start now as an example. We're on this cliffside. We crawl, we walked around this tight squeeze here with our dexterity check, and I want to inquire the Oracle, ask the Oracle if to see if there's anybody up here, just in this general area, anybody that we stumbled upon. So what we'll do, because this is so close to the fortified compound of the bandits where we were captive, most likely there will be, so likely there will be someone up there, maybe a guard or two, or goblins, which we will also roll to see who is up. So +2 on whoever on our yes. That's how I most likely, I'm sorry, likely +2 on the yes. So we'll throw for it, and it's basically whoever wins. The first number on the left is yes. So there is nobody up here. So even +2 with 4 to 12, there's nobody up here, which means that we are free to bolt out of here, while we also have this little side hustle going on. The bandits, we don't have to roll to see if they actually enter combat, because they are enemies at this point. We know there was issues going on outside, which explains some of the explosions and sounds we heard and all the festivities and all the issues I've been having happening the past couple chapters. So we know that these guys are going to duke it out. Are we going to try to initiate a combat between these two? Yes. I want to do a combat with using Cairn rules, see if I'm doing it right. Uh, there is no roll for initiative. There's more of a dexterity throw for whichever character goes first. Uh, I will say because the bandit was the first one out with me, that the goblin entered the picture after that. So we'll let the bandit roll first, a dexterity check to see if they can strike first. So we'll go to monsters. The bandit's not really a monster. Monster is just a vague term. It's just uh, an umbrella for all the antagonist characters we can run into. So let's open up the bandit character, and we also have the goblin. There's also a cat. So this list is just phenomenal. There's everything, all fantasy creatures you mostly can think of, giants. We're looking for a goblin, just an old school goblin. Let's move the sheet here. We have the bandit and the goblin. So keeping track of the HP here, I will put the health next to each. So the bandit has 4 health, and the goblin has uh, also has 4 health. So that makes things quite simple. And this is North FYI. That's what we deciphered. That's what we roll. That's what we figured out last game. So we're gonna roll a dexterity throw for the bandit right now. We're gonna hop onto our dice roller, clear it out. The bandit has to roll a 14 or below, and I'd say there's a good chance that he will. So let's roll. This decides the bandit strikes first. He does. So the bandit's attack he has a dagger. Uh, he will strike with a d6 with his dagger. So what we'll do, the d6. Sorry, I'm just thinking about something else right now. There we go. D6. We'll roll for it to see if his dagger. 4. So let's consult the rules. If this did hit, let's go to combat because we're not part of this bout. I'm strictly doing this as an experiment. We want to find combat. Let's look for combat. There it is. Combat rounds, which is like basically going down the list of initiatives. The game typically plays without strict time, is true. In a fight or circumstance where timing is helpful, actions on their turn, a character may move up to 40 feet. This may casting a spell, etc. Each round, the PCs declare what they want to do. Turns, the warden, we are also the warden, the DM. Attacking and damage. The attackers roll their weapon die and subtract the target's armor. So, armor-wise, the goblin does not have any. So, we could give the goblin armor, but we won't. So, multiple attackers. If there's multiple attackers, which I screwed this up the last chapter or two, if I'm surrounded and they all attack, you choose the highest roll. That's apparently what it says. Roll all damage dice and keep the single highest result. Attack modifiers, position of weakness. So there's a lot of narrative in this. Again, the rules are always bendable. Critical damage, but if it's the NPCs who hit 0, they're out. There is no roll for scar chart or table you have to refer to. So the goblin, he's out. He's dead. DED dead. So goblin's out of here, and now it's just a bandit. And he looks back. We're almost out of frame here. And the bandit, um, let's roll to see if the bandit saw where we were, because I something I tripped up on in last chapter. We're roll 20. Let's say likely. No, let's do possible. So yes is left, no is right. 5. Oh, the band the bandit heard us, but didn't see us. So he's looking around like, where the heck did we go? And we're gone. We're up here. Now, while we're up here, does anything, well, we're going to instill some conflict here. This is a possible. There's no modifier on this. Does anything happen to us? Nothing happens to us. We are long gone. But here's the thing. We never actually completed our task. Loomer never completed his mission of killing Reckonwood, who was his original target. That was not Reckonwood right there because that we would have he would have recognized them, and he didn't. FYI, I forgot to roll for that. So to correct myself here, Loomer stops, pauses, and recalls that he has a mission to complete here as an assassin, as a mercenary. So what he's going to do, what we're going to do, is roll highly likely +4 to see if he thinks, if he recognizes that bandit right there with a measly 4 health is the boss man of this bandits. We can always modify that health to make it more challenging, but we won't. We'll roll with a modifier of highly likely +4 that that's actually Reckonwood right there, just to seal the deal. So here we go. Yes is left. It's +4. It's not. He recalls that's on him based on the picture, so he continues running. And he's out of frame. So the bandit, this scene is done. So I'm going to pause it and I'm going to reset for a new tile. Okay, I found a great tile that kind of represents the outdoors. We're past the cliff face, and now my character is just on the top of the screen here. He's right there. We're gonna build this little area up. We're gonna see who's here. We're gonna see how many people, if there are anybody here, and we're gonna see who's here exactly. So let's get our die. We're gonna roll to see uh, highly likely +4. Is there anybody in the area in front of us? That is a strong yes. 19 is the yes. So question is, uh, no, this is not a modifier. This is just we can roll a d4, see how many people there are, and whatever rolls is how many actual people. So let's roll a d4. Or we can just do, um, is there less than 4 people? No modifier. Is there less? No, there's not. Is there more than 4 people? No. So it's 4 people. There is 4 exact characters. So let's pull on my bucket here. Let's see. Camera's freaking out, which is totally fine. Let's put let's roll to see who it is. It could be either bandits or goblins. Are they bandits? No. Are they goblins? No. Huh. Are they friendlies? Yes. Interesting. Okay. I know I'm rolling too much, but this is really exciting. This is really intriguing. Are they travelers? No. Maybe a party, possibly. Oh, you know what? Are they prisoners from the camp? Let's throw a modifier on this. This is a certainly. But wow, yeah, they are. Okay, so these are there's four prisoners that escaped and we caught up with them. So let's just put uh some random miniatures here. I'm just gonna put the four that look like they're appealing enough. They do have fronts, by the way, so I often will mistake the back for the front. So let's just say that's that. I'll put my miniature over here, and let's say that they're on the bridge here. They're talking amongst themselves. They're trying to figure out what to do because they don't know where to go. So there's four right there. Let's get our dice back. Okay, so uh, oh, you know what? Let's roll to see if one of these is actually the halfling that we. Let's do highly likely that one of these is actually the halfling. Oh, okay, yeah. There's a strict even, but because of that, we rolled. So let's make one of these the halfling that we spoke to earlier, and I found them right after that. And just for the heck of it, let's just put a horse. Well, I want to roll to see if there's a horse in the area, even though we already know there's only four total beings. The halfling's right there, and actually the horse. I'm gonna wait on that. So, okay, sorry, just working on a scene out here. So the halfling is right there, and we're walking up. Well, should we say we're obviously jogging up here, and we come across the bandits. Or not the bandits. I'm sorry, the prisoners. Now, uh, Loomer is going to say, "Hey" to the halfling. He's going to acknowledge him. The halfling turns around, and does the halfling respond? Does the halfling respond positive? Positive. How should I word this? Is the halfling happy to see us? Basically. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't put a modifier. That was a equal throw, even though. Let's say likely. Oh yeah, he is. He's happy to see us. So the halfling's happy to see us. That's a great difference between yes and no. So he's ecstatic to see us. He's like, oh, you made it out. I said, yeah. I said, Limmer said, yeah. To fend off. Well, let's just say things got out of hand. So he's going to ask if you guys. He's going to ask the group here if they were hatching a plan or if they were just going to escape. And let's roll to see. Let's just do it possible because we're walking in this blindly. Like he's basically asking what they're doing. Why are they on this bridge? Are they hatching a plan to escape, find the nearest village? Let's say highly likely plus four modifier on my guess. Oh, 14, 15, 16, 17. So just well, it's a critical fail for the it's critical for the no. They are not. They're not planning to escape, and that's not. That's so Loomer's surprised. He says, "I expected you guys to flee by now." And the prisoners are saying that because of what the bandits did to them, this is their chance to get revenge. And don't forget, one of our little traits is he's vengeful. So Loomer's ears perk up. He's like, "Vengeance," you say. I could have a swing at that. So Loomer mentions he's looking for an old friend, and he mentions Reckonwood. He has to do any of these guys know or have heard of Reckonwood? We're gonna say likely on the yes. None of these guys know who Recklin is. He says, Rimmer says, well, I know what he looks like. If any of you see him, and then he tells him about the details of what Recklin looks like. He says that that guy is his. He's wants his autograph. So in blood. So do the Loomer basically says, let's team up. Let's go back to the let's go back to the camp and finish off the bandits. Um, at this point. Now, I say for a certainty they agree. These three guys agree, but the halfling is on. It's likely he's hesitant. Is the halfling hesitant because he had that squabble with the bandit, but he did escape. We can fill that plot hole in a second. Is he hesitant? Likely, +2. No, he's not. The halfling is just straight up. He says, I want to kill that." The halfling basically says, "I want to kill that goblin who chased me out." And Loomer is basically, Loomer says about that, "How did you escape?" Now, the halfling just uses speed to his advantage. Let's say, highly likely, he just bolted out of there. Highly likely. He said he barely made it. He barely made it out because we had the modifier, highly likely. He barely made it out. The goblin got distracted with another bandit, etc. So, well, Loomer acknowledges, okay, well, that bandit that or the goblin that he tells him the goblin that originally chased you out, I believe, if I have my notes correct, my mental notes, is dead. So the bandit took him out. So the halfling jokes saying, "Oh, I should shake the hands of the bandit who killed him." He says, "Another time, and then Limerick says, let's go. If we are truly on track here, let's go back and take out the man as much as we can." He says we should stock up first, find some weapons. So, uh, because we don't have any weapons right now, we're unarmed, which is a D4. So Loomer, do any of these four have weapons on them? Let's say it's likely, maybe they found some on the way. They do. Okay, so they all have weapons. Does the halfling have weapons on him? Have a weapon on him? Let's say certainty because we rolled for. I'm just curious. He does. Okay, the halfling has a weapon. And Loomer basically says, "Well, my stuff is still locked up. I got chased out the moment I saw it. Do any of you have a spare dagger?" So he's inquiring about a dagger. Do any of them have a spare dagger? Let's say it's highly likely that one of them does have a dagger. None of them have a dagger. Oh wait, plus yeah. Let's see, what other weapons are there in this game? Let's go to the rules. Because I just said, I asked the Oracle for a dagger. I didn't say a weapon in general, like a spare weapon in general. Let's go to the list of weapons. I think it's a club or something like just an expendable weapon that we can use to defend ourselves. Let's see, lockpicks. These are all the not the classes, but the grouped items. There we go, weapons. A staff, bow, a sling. He then asked the group, "Well, do any of you guys have anything to spare me?" And plus, we can just make up a weapon as we go, like a club or I don't know. That's true. So, do any of them have a spare weapon? Let's say likely. They do. Okay, so this guy right here closest to me. Sorry, I blocked the camera. This guy right here uh, gives us a club, just like a small club. So let's replace our item. Let's undo the missing dagger that we don't have anymore, and we will do club with a D6. Now we still have our card deck, and just for fun, the Luber will give his card deck as a trade to just without even saying anything. He's like, "Here you go." He gives him the card deck just as a thank you. Does the let's say a certainty does the prisoner take the card deck? We don't have to roll for this, but just curious. He doesn't. He's like, no thanks, I'm good. So he doesn't take the card deck. Yep, there we go. And now, uh, Limmer shrugs. He says, "Okay, let's go." So they tell us to lead the way. They tell Limmer to lead the way, and Limmer's like, "All right." So they go back. They all continue off screen, and at this point, while we're here, our backs are turned. Does something happen at this very moment in time? Let's say highly likely something happens, so +1 then yes. Okay, something happens. That's a 5 with the one yes. Something happened. Nothing significant. Is it a threat? Possible. It is not a threat. Does the weather change? Oh, it is. The weather suddenly changes. There is a huge gust of wind that blows by, and so they notice. Loomer, they stop for a second, and Loomer turns around and says, "That was sudden." And so they tell him not to worry about it, so they continue on. Uneventful, but a gust of wind could mean something metaphorically. So they all continue off, and now we're going back. We're going to a new tile. So I'm going to pause it and reset. Okay, so now we're back, and we're now at the entrance of the fortress of the fortified camp. Um, I put some trees in here because I saw a stump. Something like that would be a good tree. That'll be a good little hiding spot for this to start. There's another tree down here if they want one of us wants to bolt it to the other side. But this is the hardcore entrance of the fortress of the fortified camp. So we're gonna roll as usual to see if there's anybody in the area, and that's a certainty on that one. A certainty on the yes. There is. Now, how many? Let's just roll a D6 for this. How many people potentially are there? Four. So there are four. I'm just gonna make a little note for myself here. This is north, by the way, as usual. North is this way. There's four potential threats. Now, highly like, let's do this. Okay, so there could be either goblin or bandits, but at this point, the bandits most likely have been nearly wiped out, even though that goblin from earlier died. So this is a toss up. Let's do possible. Let's say the left number is goblins, bandits on the left number, right is goblins. So whoever's higher, that's who we're fighting. So we'll do 20 as usual. Bandits, goblins. Bandits left. Bandits. It's okay. It's goblins. We are now fighting goblins, which, in that respect, they are a neutral party, but they're blocking our path. So let's get some miniatures here to represent the goblins. They don't necessarily have to be goblins. I don't think I have uh, goblins per se. We do have. Let's just see. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we'll do this one. This is a goblin right here. Trying to find the most threatful looking ones with weapons and etc. Yeah, this is good. So I have four goblins that are. Now there's a sorcerer. Uh, they are literally standing guard of their. Remember, this is their original. They claim allegedly, this is their camp. This is their hideout. This is a fortress. Whatever. This is their castle. This is their home, and we're there, and um, we're basically Loomer's hopeful to find Reckonwood to just finally finish his damn mission because it's just been everything's been awry. Everything's just been terrible. And plus he's addicted to, like I said in my sheet here, he's just addicted to the task at hand. He has to get it done. He follows his code, he basically kills people who deserve it. And apparently Reckonwood does. So we can go stealthily, we can just straight up attack, or are they even a threat? Let's roll to see if these goblins are. This could be a lore roll. If these goblins are basically based on vision, how we see it, because our characters are behind this huge tree and they're just kind of peeking around. And again, the goblins are fairly organized, and for surprisingly. Are these goblins, let's say, battle ready? Are they really anxious? Or, they're really like aware of the surroundings. Let's say highly likely they are, or a certainty because they just fended off some bandits. +6 on the yes. They are barely. So most of them are battle ready. They're whilst they're kind of tired. They're kind of worn out because that yes is somewhat strong. I'm sorry, the nose is somewhat close. So uh, Loomer recognizes this. He whispers, guys. He tells them that these goblins won't go down easy if they're even a threat. And so the prisoners question that. They said, why would they not be a threat? And the halfling does mention that they were kind of in a neutral state. They were helping out a goblin, but then the halfling got chased out. So these three realize that the halfling is more um, an antagonist in the situation compared to Loomer's position in the story, because the Loomer, he was helping halfling. They had a vocal, they had a heated exchange, a threat, and they bolted. So Loomer was kind of left on the sidelines during that moment, which means I think Loomer is the best, most likely the best peaceful approach. Uh, and even we can see these other three prisoners if they were, um, erase that, I don't need that anymore. If they were had any run-ins with the goblins. So Loomer quickly whispers, "Did any of you guys, besides the halfling here, have any run-ins with these goblins?" Let's see. Highly likely they did. Let's see if they did. They did. Yeah, they all had run-ins. They basically they nod. Yeah, we encountered a few in a negative way. But we escaped. So, did any of them kill any goblins? Let's say likely because they have weapons in their hand. They have weapons. Likely they did. Yeah. So, I mean, it's 8-4. Half of them, these two guys right here, killed a couple respectively. And while this guy right here is basically maybe he hurt one or he inflicted a deep wound in one before it died. So Loomer is like, okay, it's 4-4. Well, 3.5-4. Um, Even though this goblin here is pretty short. So he says, let me go up and talk to them. Because even though uh, they are battle ready, Loomer's not technically a threat to them. He's not technically uh, an issue. Like he's not exactly on their naughty list. That's what I'm trying to say. So, do they agree with the plan at first? Let's say a certain because they followed me. They have obviously followed me this far. Well, even though it's one page over. High certainty on the yes. Ah, shit, it's not equal to 6. So no, they're shaking. They doubt that I'm going to be able to peacefully consult with them on a exchange for to see a reckon one. So Loomer he's disappointed, but he realizes it's a 4 to it's I should say now it's 5. He's like, okay, well now it's 4.5 against 4. So he says I was hoping for the different approach, but if we have to resort to killing these guys, then we will. He says, as long as I find Reckonwood. And then these guys so that Reckonwood guy again. You're really bent on getting him, and then Loomer's like, yeah, he's again. I have to find him. So the halfling interjects, is he even a? How do you know if he's even alive? And Loomer kind of speaks up a bit, maybe too much. And he says, because that's my business. He's a little angry, but let's roll for a willpower because that is a little loud. So let's roll for will. This is a 1d20. If I roll, not 100. If I roll 13 or under, then my voice didn't alert the goblins over there. That's what I'm trying to do here is throw some conflict in this. Okay, yeah. So they shushed me, but I'm like, guys, they didn't hear us. So I look over, they did not hear us. So Limmer says, okay, well, what's the plan? Now, at this point, have the goblins, because we've been chatting for a while, have the goblins moved at all? Let's do 2d20s. Let's say, like, possibly, because they're posted there, fairly organized, which is unusual for goblins. Let's say possible, no modifier on the yes. They did. So they moved a bit. So let's say that these two wandered over here. They're just checking out the sides. These two are still because it's not a very strong yes. So these two are chatting. So now they're a little more relaxed, and then Loomer notices this and he says, "This is our chance to strike. Let's get the guys on left first. Let's run in." So Loomer asks, "Do any of you guys have long range weapons?" Let's just do possible. Do any of them have long range weapons? Yeah. Oh yeah, they do. Okay, so let's say that what weapons have we got? A bow would be applicable. So let's write down our weapons here. So we have the prisoners. The halfling is 3.5, and then we obviously we know what we got. So 3.5. Haha, very funny. I know. 3.5. That's the halfling. This is the die for the weapon. So let's say the closest guy right there has the that's a very strong yes. Let's say two of them have ranged weapons. So a bow for crossbow's probably too much. Even though there's a strong yes, I think well, let's just do a sling and a bow. So we have a D4 bow, and then a D6. I'm sorry, sling. Actually, I should probably change that to a lowercase d just for my. Yeah, we'll do this. A D4 and then a D6 bow. That's a sling. I should fix that. My apologies, guys. D4 sling and a D6 bow. And then the third guy, the guy closest to us, has just a conventional weapon. He has let's just say he found a staff, which is D6 damage. Oops, D6. D6 damage. Or staff. And then Mr. Halfling, Mr. Two and a Half Men, does he have a surprisingly powerful weapon? I'm just throwing this out there. Let's say highly unlikely or impossible, -6 on the yes. He doesn't. He also has a club. Let's just say he has a club. Uh, I don't recall if we actually rolled to see if he had a weapon from earlier, but we'll say a club, a D4 club. D4 club. Party, party, party. This is going to be one heck of a fight. So now, Loomer says, are we just going to bum rush these guys? And then the four, they contemplate for a split second. Do we simply rush the two on the left? Let's say highly likely. +4 modifier on the yes. We do. We just straight, that's a very strong, extremely strong yes. We straight up just rush. So Loomer says, okay, you guys with the just fire your weapons at them. So these two get in the open. This one finds a way underneath the tree, and they both fire their long range weapons at the. Let's get the hell for these goblins. Goblins have oh yeah, that's four. So four each. Four, 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 four. So these guys fire two. Now, oh yeah, I forgot. There is no. I think I completely screwed this up, but there is no attack or hit attack rolls in this game. Did I do that from earlier? If I did, I'm remembering now. There is no. You just roll the dice and that's it. But you can roll for strength based on the fact that this is a surprise attack, which means narratively we have the advantage. So I don't have to roll for it. Okay, so let's just roll a common die. Just the first one's a D4, so we're hoping fingers crossed for a D4. This guy right here, the one farthest to the left, is striking. Is going to try to hit this guy right there. D4 damage, 3. So he takes a hit. He stumbles. He's basically on his knees, very hurt. This one takes notice for it. Now it is they both attacked almost at the same time. So this guard or this prisoner here rolls a D6. 5 damage. Nice. So he is dead. So he's out of the equation. He's out. This guy's nearly dead. We are going to run to this tree right here as fast as we can. Now I'm going to roll for all of us to see if with dexterity, if we were able to uh, make it in time before being seen by these two. Even though most likely these two. So then we're rolling to see if we roll equal to or under us, they will just be aware of what's going on. They're going to have to go check on their friend. Uh, if we fail, they're going to run after us. They're going to target us. Roll for dexterity. Oh shoot! Gosh darn it. Okay, so they saw us, but they're also in the confusion. They also saw the fact that they're down a goblin and their third one member is deeply wounded. So they're running our way. We burst through the trees here, all with close range weapons. These guys, but now it's our turn, so we're going to have to get into a little combat here. So now it's all just face uh, face to face with these goblins. So now. Um, let's roll to see which party we're kind of separating the battles here. We have one over here, and we have, if you guys can see it, I apologize if you can't. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can just scoot this in a little bit. There you go. That's a little better. We're rolling to see who goes first on this little group over here where we're fighting. And then the health is still nearby. So we have 4 and 4. There's that old one there. All right. This is just a straight up roll. The number on the left is us. Number on the right is the two goblins we're up against. Oh, they barely get the advantage. So, okay, here we go. So we're gonna roll for damage. They both, you roll everything. So you roll. They have, oh, what do they have? What do bandits usually have? Let's see. They usually have a dagger. Okay, they all have daggers, which is can be hurtful. We'll roll a dagger for both of them. So 2d6s. I'm gonna choose the highest 8. Oh, I'm sorry, 6 is the highest one. Now, question is, who do they hit? That's the question. I have only 3 health left. My armor, I don't have any armor because it got stolen, or it was torn off of me. Who do they strike? So 6 damage. We're deciding on who they strike. There's 3 of us. D6 can occupy. So 1 through 2 is the halfling. 2 through 3. Oh, that wouldn't work. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, it would. So as I'm saying, 1, 2 is the halfling. 3, 4 is the guy in the middle. 5, 6 is me. Is Loomer. Here we go. Of course it's me. Okay, so we take 6 damage, which means we have no armor. We are now -3. We are okay. So how does this work? Let's do research the. If you're negative, you subtract from your strength, I believe. Damage. Let's see. Scars. Roll for scars. I think scars is if you roll reaches exactly 0. We're past that. Unconscious when the character dies, free in the character. Ability score loss. If a player character is strength is reduced to 0, they die. If their dexterity is reduced to 0, they're paralyzed, etc. What we're trying to figure out is what happens when it's critical damage. Damage that reduces target's HP below 0 decreases the target's strength by the amount remaining. They must then make a strength save to avoid critical damage. Additionally, some enemies will have special abilities. Any PC that suffers critical damage cannot do anything but crawl weakly. So, all right, I'm going to pause this for a second. I believe this is what happens. The -3 gets taken away from my strength cap. So we're at 11, 10, 9. The next time they strike us, we're crawling. We're basically on our knees. We're bleeding out, and my guys see it. So now it's our turn. Well, I should say it's these two, my two comrades in arms. We're yeah, I'll just say we're deprived, if that's even the right thing to do. But so these two strike. They both have um, a club and a staff. So the D4, D6. Let's roll for damage. D4, D6. Here's what happens. 4 and a 5. Okay, so the 4 damage will go. It's our choice. The halfling strikes with his D4, this guy here, thus killing him. He's out. Boop. And then the D6, we rolled a 5, struck this guy. He goes, "Hurrah!" That's from like from Skyrim or from Oblivion, strikes him. So he's also out. So these two guys, and I'm out. I am literally bleeding out. Um, and Loomer, it says, go finish off the other. And we still have the guy one right here. Now we're back to this battle. And um, so this guy, he can travel, I think it's 40 feet in this game. Characters can move 40 feet. Let me see, 40 feet. Yep. On their turn, the character can move up to 40 feet. Take up what the okay. So we're going to go back to my character sheet so you guys can keep track. And then so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So he's up to the this is his move. Because they struck last time. So he's going to he has a D6. He's going to attack our character health is you know what? I never encountered for health. Let's just go off the bandits. The goblins. I'm sorry. I keep calling these guys bandits. We also have 4. Obviously I'm a sad face. So the guy he's going to strike the one on the left here with his dagger, which is a D6, I believe. Bandits. I'm sorry, goblins. Oh, D6, yeah, D6 dagger. They can have either that. I'm sorry, I keep confusing with bandits. They can strike. They either have a sling or a dagger, which he could have used a sling, but he felt this is up close and personal, and he, with blood running out, he's rushing with his dagger. He's about to jump and stab this guy on the right, on his right, our left. He rolls a D6. 2. He does a measly 2 damage, which is still a good amount in Cairn's world. So 2. Now. It's our turn. We both strike. We both have long range weapons, so D4 and 6. So the highest roll is the amount of damage. So guaranteed kill. D4, D6, the 3. So he's out. We have successfully killed those guys. Now, the predicament we're in right now is that we have to take a short. I Loomer has to take a short rest. He's bleeding out, or he's gasping for air. We're down. So let's say healing. A moment's rest and swig of water will restore lost HP, but will leave the party vulnerable. Okay. Um, ability loss requires a week rest, so the ability loss is permanent until I can take a week's rest. That's pretty considerable. So this lowers our chance to equal 9 rolls or lower if this happens again, or for any moment. For anything requires a strength roll. So do any of these guys have water on them? Let's say likely. They were near a river earlier, which that would probably explain the possibility to be highly likely. Oh wow, holy, yeah, they do. They have water on them. So, let's say the halfling, being generous, he walks over and he pours water in our mouth, and he restores us from sad to neutral because he's a mercenary. So our health is restored back to 4 at that point, and then if we're not mistaken, restore lost HP. The party was vulnerable. While that was happening, we have to roll for this. And these two guys are walking over to check on me. Loomer, I keep saying me. Let's erase the stats here. But I will keep the weapons on the screen. While that was happening, let's say possible that did anything happen? Just a general question. Anything happen? Possible. No, nothing happened. We heard noises coming from inside, but that's it. So now with Luma restored, and we're all here, we are walking up to the fortress, like so, and we are going to face out. We're going to run in there and get business done. So that is it for this chapter, people. I gotta get to bed, but that was basically our combat. I'm sure I'll mess up the weapons again. That's where we left off. Uh, Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I absolutely love doing these. I know I'm really disorganized and just all over the place but it's so damn fun. I'm gonna reiterate this a lot. I love just the concept of solo tabletop RPGs when I can't play traditional D&D, on Discord with my friends as they're super busy. And it's like once a week or so, there's even a chance that all three of us can continue the Bastard Companies, which that's our main priority campaign for this whole channel. These are just like side, we call subplots in a big movie. So, yeah, that's it. Next time, next chapter, hopefully maybe tomorrow or the day after, we're going to continue back into where we were captured in the beginning of the story. So that's chapter 3 of The Escape. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time on Solo RPG.